It might be raining a little, but I'm not sure. So, here's the garden. There's that horrible construction. I think they're trying to reroute that little stream over there, mostly underground, so they can build on top of it. I don't know about you, but I think floodwater goes where it wants to. Look at all the little holes the critters keep making. They keep reburying them. I don't know if it's a rabbit or what. Anyway, I went through and I mowed, maybe kind of poorly yesterday, but that's that. It needed a mow. It was like 4 weeks. My deck was feeling as good as it gets, I figured, so. And actually, I had a pain-free night. I didn't get woken up by excruciating pain last night, and I don't think it's tied to anything that I do or don't do at this point, because of that herniated disc is so bad, so whatever, I'll take it. The flowers are really spectacular. Like, I wasn't expecting a second wave of nice blooms, but here we are. And the sky looks pretty bad. It isn't, well, maybe it is a little bit of rolling waves of clouds, but it was way worse yesterday. So here is the garden. It is, I mean, it's end of season. I still surprisingly keep picking up lots of tomatoes. There are tomatillos that are growing in still. I have no idea if they're actually ripen before it freezes, but if they don't, I guess they can drop and have volunteers next year. Those big things in there with the pointy leaves, I have no idea if that's a veggie that I planted or not, but it's been growing all season long. I'll rip it up and put it in the compost. It's more green matter, right? So I found 2 strawberries yesterday when I walked through. It was nice. I'm not expecting strawberries this late in the season, so it was a pleasant surprise. I need to move the sky once it freezes. So I picked the big loofah because it was completely brown. On the outside, I need to figure out how to turn the gourd into, I think it's starting to proper rain. I need to figure out how to turn the gourd into more of a bathing sponge. Put my hood up here real quick. I thought it wasn't supposed to rain until tomorrow, right? But then, surprise, here we are. Maybe I'll stand under my canopy here. Oh, that yellow leaf with the 5 edges. It's off of this passion fruit. I don't know if it's gonna bloom again this year, but it's still a nice vine to shade me from the rain. It's good it's raining now because those saffron bulbs have been in for maybe like a week or something and haven't sprouted yet, but I wanted to. One of them's in, where's my finger? That pot. Like 3 or 4 of them, I think. Like one set of them. Huh, do we have another pumpkin in the corner? I might have another pumpkin in the corner here. I hadn't noticed that before. Definitely another pumpkin. Okay, great. Love pumpkins. A little hard to get to, but that's okay. Maybe I should go digging for it now. I wonder if it's ripe. Oh, after I finish filming, I'll go grab something to clip it off. What is this blob? Oh, it actually made a fruit. Look at that. The ground cherries in here actually made fruit, even though the plant is barely sprouted. These are those shiso. So there was a totally unripe strawberry in here yesterday on the corner, and I kept looking at it and I was like, it's not ripe yet, leave it, leave it. And then I couldn't help myself and I picked it and I ate it and it was actually pretty delicious. What else? One of these pots of mint looks like it's completely dead. The rest of them are still somewhat okay. I dumped a little bit of water on the Venus flytraps. The Sarracenia, wow, it's already completely dried up. I guess they really did need some water. The Sarracenia and then the Multifida. There's another pumpkin over there. And then there's a couple more small ones over there in that corner. So lots of green tomatoes still left, some pumpkins ripening. That one was half rotten, so I just put it in the bed and half buried it, you know? I put the smaller, supposedly, potato onions over here where that, where's my finger, where that white steak is, and then the others, come on, where's the finger? Right there, where that white steak is, the supposedly bigger ones. So the ones in that bed, I scooped a couple globby wet, disgusting scoops of compost out of one of my composters, and I dug a little trench and filled it with that compost, and then nestled the onions in it. There were like three-ish big ones, and then one smaller one, maybe the size of the last segment on the end of your thumb. So I put them in there. This one, they only came in, do you want a pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, and maybe 5 pounds or something like that. So I ordered a pound. I want to say there's at least 30 of them buried in there. You know, the fridge dying was bad, but I cracked a lot of eggs into this bed for the calcium, and I figure if you're supposed to crack a whole entire egg under tomatoes, there's got to be some good nutrition in there. So no extra compost buried in here because I've got all those carrots sprouting, but hopefully the eggs are enough. What else happened in here? I finally got a couple of those plum tomatoes on the end of the trellis here. They finally turned a little bit red, so I picked them yesterday. Man, I'm really glad that I picked stuff yesterday if it's raining today, so I didn't have all the tomatoes splitting. So I got that big loofah, those tomatoes, a couple of small okras. I picked them before they get tough because it was a couple of days already, right? And what else did I pick? I think there was something else in there. Oh, a couple of the small beans from over here. So I don't know if I showed you. Not those, but pumpkin vines are all encompassing. So I don't know if I showed you all the endive that's sprouting in the tap here. It's, you know, I'm proud of my garden. It's taking over everywhere. So so these are those Egyptian walking onions. They sprouted all over the place. They're the reason that I had to tie back this marigold so hard, and the marigold is still spreading even more, even though it's kind of splitting under its own weight, and once it hits freezing, I'm sure it'll die back, but so far so great. You know, the garden is taking care of me this year. I wonder if those are actually seeds, because I do have lots of asparagus, so maybe they've actually pollinated because they're all blooming. Wow, nice. Maybe I'll have even more asparagus than I thought. What was I saying? Oh, the garden took care of me this year, right? So I was complaining that I barely had anything at the beginning of the season, and then finally the tomatoes and everything started pumping. Well, my fridge just died, so right when the garden is really getting going, I don't have a fridge, but I have all sorts of fresh food in the garden. So I don't know how the garden knew that the end of this year would be kind of rotten, but it knew, and now it's providing me all sorts of good food. No, I don't really believe garden is sentient. What else? Is that dill sprouting late in the season? Man, everything is so late this year. I don't even know. So I'm thinking, okay, so my back is bad. That blown disc is super, super bad. Before I knew that, I was thinking I'm gonna take this sorrel and then move it over here to be next to the asparagus, so that this would just be the perennial bed, right? Because I was gonna move the rhubarb to the front corners of this too, and the Egyptian onions can just live in here too, so I was just gonna have this bed that I never touch that just, you know, provides food. Well, I would put peas in, okay? This is a good place for peas because they're shielded from, so nothing else will be grown in here in the spring, right? So they'll have all the sun that they can get, but by the time that the rest of the garden starts growing in, they'll get nicely shielded from the hot summer sun here. So maybe I'll get a couple more months of peas out of them. But I don't know, with the state of my back, the sorrel might be staying there. The rhubarb might be staying in the front, but I mean, food is food. Wherever it grows is fine, I'll work around it. Like, I was gonna move these asparagus to this bed too, but I mean, fine. Fine. Why is there a big lump here? Did critters get it? What is going on? Oh, was it from when I was digging onions? It might be from when I was digging a trench to put onions in here. That makes sense. And I'm just leaving these ground cherries laying around. They're small. They barely did anything this year. Maybe if I put more fertilizer in, they'll grow up nice and big next year. So this half of the bed, I still need to put compost in. Like, I'm gonna see if I can't dig some trenches around these onions and put compost in after all the rest of everything dies back. I think I'm making sure there's flower stalks on it. Maybe I'll shake them out over the bed or over paper, or maybe I'll bring them in. But I'm gonna pick this lemon basil before it really freezes because it smells amazing. I want it to cook with. Midwinter, that's gonna be amazing. Because I'm allergic to citrus, right? So I can't really cook with lemons, but this stuff is good. Yeah. I think that maypop escaped through the ground because it's definitely attached to the ground, and that's how it's sprouting everywhere. So I wanted to show you without stepping on all the good stuff that's growing in here. You see all the endive that sprouted there from the flower heads that I threw down? And then the lettuce is also spreading itself. So maybe I'll get like a winter crop of lettuces and lots of endives. I'm sad I didn't get to put more compost down here. I think I did spread a thin layer midsummer for the melons when they were doing poorly. But I mean, okay. My patch of endives was over here next to the sorrel this year, and now I guess it'll be over here. I'll have to pick it before it really goes to bloom, but I mean, there are worse problems to have. Oh, there is also a small butternut squash here that I need to get while I'm thinking about picking that pumpkin. He's over here, hiding. Where are you? Over there. He's like palm size. See my finger? He's like palm size. So, ooh, I think those are those Kyoto carrots. They're strange little white candy size seeds. I don't understand what was going on. I think they're coated in something. Anyway, the rest of these things, I need to replant another set of seeds, maybe like December. They're the medieval veggies from Europe. Skirret, which is it's sort of like carrots. It might be related to celery, I'm not sure. And then Alexander's. So I put down one set of seeds, but they definitely need stratification before they start sprouting. So I put one set of seeds down maybe a couple weeks ago, so I need to put another set of seeds down midwinter. I don't know if I should be worried that all of the currants and gooseberries are resprouting again. At least it's not lots of leaves, and hopefully the amount of sunshine hours are helping to tell them that it should be go to sleep time. Okay, this is long enough. Till next week.